philosophical foundation of education practical records activity 1 activity 1 2 3 4 5 जते भी activity थाउ सब आपण माने चेंज करके लिखिबे एवं देखिबा philosophical foundation of education practical records कोन लिखा अछि thoughts and reflection of western philosophical schools and its relevance to the present day of Indian education a report एटा होची तार हेडिंग जोटा कि आपनकर कंटेंट रहइबो किंतु मु जो एक्टिविटी 1 टी आपन के कहिया को जाउची मु जहा कहूची एवं जहा आपन देखुछंती वीडियो रे ताहा सबतक सेम टू सेम आपन प्रैक्टिकल रेकॉर्ड्स रे लिखिबे एवं ता सहित आपन माने चेंज करके लिखिबे कोन चेंज कर लिखिबे मनकर मोर एक्टिविटी 1 जो लिखा अछि एवं तार जो हेडिंग टा ए टोटल ए हेडिंग ठु आरंभ करके एक्टिविटी 1 एंड हला पर्यंत जहा लिखा अछि आपन निजो खाता रे एक्टिविटी 2 किबा 3 किबा 4 किबा 5 रे लिखिबे कि 1 रे लिखिबे नाही एइथि कहूँ जे ओडिशा रो हजार हजार लक्ष लक्ष पिला जितले प्रैक्टिकल रेकॉर्ड्स लिखिबे रेकॉर्ड तो समस्त सेम लिखंदी किंतु चेंज कर लिखा एइथि करा जाय जे समस्तंगर रेकॉर्ड रो सीरियल टा सेम न रहू तेणु एहार होउची आपनकर एही परि भाव रे आपन लिखिबे ब्लैक कलम रे आपन ने समस्त हेडिंग देबे ब्लू कलम डिस्क्रिप्शन बा आपन डिस्क्राइब करिवे देखंदी जेमती पिलाडी लिखि जे सेम टू सेम आपन खाता रे लिखंदु किंतु एक्टिविटी 1 2 3 4 को जम्बलिंग करी ताकू ऊपर तळ करी ताकू एपट सेपट करके आपन लिखंदु किंतु लेखा सेम लिखिबा एक्टिविटी 1 मु जेति की पेज जहा लिखा जे सेम टू सेम आपन खाता लिखिबे किंतु 1 न लिखि 2 3 4 5 रे लिखिबे मोर एक्टिविटी 2 रो रिकॉर्ड को आपन 1 लिखि परिबे मोर एक्टिविटी 3 को ले आपन 4 रे लिखि परिबे एही परि भाव रे आपन माने लिखिबे देखिबा इंट्रोडक्शन एवं ब्रोचर होल्ड्स द व्यूज दैट स्कूल्स ऑफ थॉट व्हिच हैव द मोस्ट सिग्निफिकेंस फॉर modern education have been pragmatism, naturalism, idealism and realism. Other categories have also had a parts to play, but their educational implication have never been so systematically worked out as the forementioned. In fact, the different nomenclature given different educational philosophies are nothing but the traditional schools of general philosophy oriented to particular social and political belief which each philosopher believed. The basic principle of the school of philosophy and their education implication will be discussed below. Idealism कौन रही आइडियालिज्म होची एटा गोटे आ गोटे आसीगला माने तांकर हेडिंग आइडियालिज्म कंटेंट दैट द स्पिरिचुअल एस्पेक्ट्स आर द चीफ एस्पेक्ट्स ऑफ ह्यूमन लाइफ. Idealism is a philosophy thought the propagated by the great philosophy like Plato among Descartes, Berkeley, Hegel and etc. The Vedic seers were a great idealism. The Upanishad and the Bhagavad Gita made a very comprehensive analysis of idealism. एही पर भाव रे पेंसिल रे आपण माने देखन जेमति चारिपटे मार्जिन पडिछि आपण माने मध्य चारिपटे मार्जिन पकेबे तार बैक साइड माने कंटिन्यू लेखा आरंभ करिवे किछि पेज मझरे ब्लैंक रखिबे नाही. Idealism and aims of education. Idealism provides huge aims of education which are considered to the most important contribution of idealism to education. Procul, the object of education is the realization of faithful, pure and hence holy life. Education should lead man to utility with God. Aims of education con development of willpower. Idealism give a special attention development will of man should be the another of his own future. 2 number रही to cultivate the truth, beauty and goodness. Idealism arrest the development of spiritual values are the individual particulars of height. Idealism namely truth, beauty, goodness should be encountered more and more. Self-realization according to idealism man is the most beautiful creation of God. Hence the advocate of idealism lay the great emphasis or extraction of the human personality, the man self-realization. Contribution of idealism to education. The present world is threatened by naturalism, materialism which is ignores higher values of life. Idealism aims to restore to man his proper place. The present machine and electric age that the arts of human being as a machine. Idealism provide clear guidance for determining aims in education, curricular, teachers, roles and method of teaching, learning process. Then asila naturalism. The naturalism in education was a revolution against the education of mastery of books and discipline. The naturalistic movement overthrew the conception of naturalism and made education child-centered. Hawking naturalism कौन कहले? Hawking कहले naturalism is considered nature as a whole of reality aims of education. It is generally accepted. It is a very little to differ. It is a very little to differ as a regard claims of education. Naturalism is differ in this respect, developing the child in accordance with the nature, equipping the child for the struggle of existing and ensuring the survival. It has brought to the forefront of recognition of the child in the process of education. It brought to light the significance of progressive method of teaching like learning by observing and learning by inductive method. It has stressed that the educative process should be made a pleasurable and enjoyable. Naturalism indicates the educational institution should set up in the natural surroundings. এবং তারপরে it brought to light the significance of progressive method of teaching like learning by observing and living inductive. Pragmatism is a first developed by Charles Tyrrell in 1870, revised and retreatment 1898 by the William James, primarily as the theory of truth, further developed, expanded, disseminated by John Dewey, FCS Silver. Aims of education. Pragmatism have no fixed aims or goals of educated, since the aims of human life changes with changing need of times, place, circumstances. No fixed ultimate and the general aims of education can be predetermined. According to Ross, since the life itself is experimental, there is no definite goal towards which the child must advance. According to John Dewey, education is abstract idea only person owns. Method of teaching. The pragmatism regards and the by doing importance of slogan pragmatism among the child learns indicatively where the carrying out of profile she goes to smiling modified learning. The project method introduced by John Dewey is not only the method of including but also a device cut across the school curriculum for children. Existentialism. The existentialism want to do educate the whole man. The existentialism do not have give much importance objective knowledge. Existentialism is not a philosophy for revealing the truth of reality world. Educational existentialism. The most important aims in education is the bearing coming person as one of the lives and makes discussions about what one will do he knowing in the sense of knowledge oneself. The school should provide an atmosphere where the individual develop in a healthy way. Children thrives better when the relief from intense competition as a subject in school can present existentialism situations for teaching and development of human beings. এবং activity 2 ଆସିଲା activity 2 ରେ ଲେଖା ଅଛି ଦେଖି ପାରୁଥିବେ এটা হচ্ছে তার মেন হেডিং যেটা কହୁଛି ଆପଣ content critically move a selected book written by the contemporary educationalist in India Abul Fakir Jainuddin APJ Abdul Kalam 5th October 1931 27 July 2015 was the 11th president of India from 2002 to 2007. A career scientist turned a politician, Kalam was born and raised in Rameswaram, Tamil Nadu, and studied physics and aerospace engineering. He spent the next 4 decades as a scientist, science administrator, mainly at DRDO, Defense Research Organization and ISRO, Indian Space Research Organization, and was intimately involved in India's civilian space program and missile development efforts. He thus came to know as the Missile Man of India for his work on development of a ballistic missile and launching vehicle technology. Kalam was the 11th president in India in 2002 with the support of both running Bharatiya Janata Party and then the opposition Indian National Congress. He was recipient of several prestigious awards including Bharat Ratna, Indian highest civilian honor, Yagnaswamy Sundara Rajan or Y.S. Ryan, born on the 10th 1943, is an Indian professor, scientist, administrator. He is honorary distinguished the professor in Indian Space Research Organization. He has made a major contribution to various aspects of management of science, technology, and innovation. He has been awarded with Padma Shri in 2012 for his contribution in science and engineering. In 2020, India a vision for a new millennium published in 1998 in a book written by latter former President of India APJ Abdul Kalam before his learner as a president and Mr. Y.S. Raj. In introduction, the book of examination depth, weakness, and the strength of India and offer a vision for how India can emerge to be among the world first four economic power by 2020. The vision is dedicated a young girl whom Kalam met and asked her, "What is your dream?" For which the young girl replied, "I want to live in a developed India." Dr. Kalam has given brief about the way to develop India by 2020. He has a set of a target for all youth India on how to take India developed by 2020. India will develop only the team in struggle and the captain has to lead the team in front. When a team achieves victory, has most behind the team. He has set up a target for all youth in India in how to make India develop by 2020. It also focuses on the way India can go ahead of technology development and more. Chapter, the book about 300 pages which are divided into 13 chapters. What are other countries envision themselves? Evolution of technology, a vision 2020. Food, agriculture and processing materials of future. Chemical wealth, chemical industries or biological health, manufacturing for the future, এবং services as the people wealth. Strategy, industries, health care for all, the enable infrastructure, how to study hard, how will India become a developed country by 2020. Review by this is the dream translate to millenniums Indians through the pens of two eminent scientists of India, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam and Dr. Y.S. Rajan, in their book India 2020, a vision for a new millennium. His revision is an India where the national economy of country is one of the largest in world. There is ultimately general giving standard of the common man will prove poverty line, including the high standard of education, the role of technology, sophisticated technology like, but also the provided price like. Kalam defend his exploitation technology, saying if you don't have technology, you know the resource if no values to you. This is brings us to all important question, why do you need a vision? Kalam answered this question by citing examples of countries like USA, like Malaysia, points out they are the what they are today because they had a vision and they had a strive towards it. Kalam, however, what is the trying to realize the vision? We should not the ideas for other nation but should try to create the innovative solution is the best suited to solve inherent problems. Kalam feels that by being self-reliant, our self-confidence is boosted in our technology become the grading raising by the standard of product and above all the question. देखो एठी एहिपर भाबरे आपण माने प्रैक्टिकल्स रेकर्ड लिखिबे एवं एहिपर भाबरे प्रैक्टिकल रेकर्ड को आपण माने क्लियरली लिखिबे, कारण प्रैक्टिकल रेकर्ड जदि आपण माने भूल भाल लिखिबे ताहले आपण मानकर मार्क मध्य कटि जावार संभावना अछि। तेणु एहिपर भाबरे आपण माने लिखिबे। तेणु तापर होछि कालाम फेल्स दैट द बीइंग self reliant our self confidence is boosted, our technology becomes great thereby ଆପଣଙ୍କର rising the standard at product above all the question. Diabetics, Kalam has hyphens certain major issues such as corruption, disruption, dystology, complacency, which eradication for the realization vision 2020. The foundation of for the should be laid at the grassroots level. Kalpana shows the faith young generation calling, in whom he says the dream realize the vision should enthusiasm. We cannot but wholeheartedly agree with the other. ତେଣୁ ମନେ ରଖନ୍ତୁ ଯେଉଁଗୁଡ଼ା ଆପଣ ଲେଖୁଛନ୍ତି ସେଥିରେ କୌଣସି ପ୍ରକାର କଲର ପେନ୍ କିଛି ୟୁଜ୍ କରିବେ ନାହିଁ। ତେଣୁ ସେଇଟା ବି ମୋଷ୍ଟ ଇମ୍ପୋର୍ଟାଣ୍ଟ କଥା, କାରଣ ବ୍ଲୁ ବ୍ଲାକ୍ ପେନ୍ କେବଳ ୟୁଜ୍ କରିବେ, ଅନ୍ୟ କିଛି କଲର ପେନ୍ ୟୁଜ୍ କରିବେ ନାହିଁ। ଆଉ ଯଦି ପେନସିଲ୍ ରହିଛି ପେନସିଲ୍ ମଧ୍ୟ ଆପଣମାନେ ୟୁଜ୍ କରିବେ ଯଦି ଯେଉଁଠି ପେନସିଲ୍ ଦରକାର, ଏବଂ ଯେଉଁଠି ଆପଣଙ୍କର ପେନସିଲ୍ ଦରକାର ନାହିଁ ସେଠି ଆପଣ ପେନ୍ ୟୁଜ୍ କରିବେ। ତେଣୁ ୱି କ୍ୟାନ୍ ନଟ୍ ବଟ୍ ହୋଲ୍ heartily by agree with the author that achieve our vision zero we should settle our superficial difference and think act as Indians. Nobody use ourselves modernized, he said, should not make the common appreciations as a lack of it will lead to inefficiency and lower level सेगुड़ा रही आपणकर भलसे देखु लोअर लेवल ऑफ कस्टमर ग्राटिफिकेशंस। एवं तापर आसिला आपण मानकर कौन आसिला आपणकर एक्टिविटी 3 आसीगला लिस्ट आउट द वैल्यूज। मन रखु एक्टिविटी 3 कौन रहिला लिस्ट आउट वैल्यूज व्हिच इज इंडिविजुअल वाज ह्यूमन बीइंग। इंट्रोडक्शन कौन रही Mahatma Gandhi says the values is process which enable to realize Satyam, Shivam, Sundaram. The term values has been various refer interest, pleasure, likes, detects more obligation, derived goals, needs. The power of values arises facts that they help the trans ourselves. The pursuits higher values in the of spiritual truth. The expression higher values in brings to down into one's life। तेणु यहीपरि भाव आप सेगुड़ा लिखिबे। एवं तापर रही डेफिनेशन ऑफ वैल्यूज आर प्रिंसिपल एंड फाउंडेशन ऑफ contradiction which act as general guidance to behavior standard by which particular action desirable। Values are the proprietor of individual society attached to certain belief and object deciding how the life what they shall treasure, meaning the values. The word values derived from Latin word meaning of Strong's historical print of views. Values define the philosophy as the truth, goodness, beauty, importance of values। मन रखते importance of values कौन the values society are important because they influence the content its norms for humans। Something have always been more important than other activities according to their significance। For their will being a community it's necessary to have shared role that the guidance, formation and behavior of his member, otherwise the community will not function। Lastly, it may be stressed that the teacher, educational, the administration, above all parents must try their best promote values orient education। Basic values रही कौन रही आपनकर basic values stimulation, idealism, self direction, universalism, benevolence, tradition, conformity, powder, achievement, security, idealism। तेणु ये पूरे types of value we can speak universal values because ever since of human beings have lived in a community they have had to establish principle the guidance behavior towards others। They are considered assistance principle on which we build life a guide as relate with the people। Family values these are considered essential principle values in a family and are considered either good or bad। They are basic principle of guidance of our society। Classification of value classified into two ways intrinsic and extrinsic। Intrinsic value are interest in object not imposed, applied outside agency. Example, so taking an example desk, it may be pointed out they have specific function in providing student with a space for writing, keeping books, drawing, designing. Same happiness of intrinsic values. पर्सनल वैल्यू इट इज मन रखते पर्सनल वैल्यूज कौन रही है आप देखिपे पर्सनल वैल्यू इज characterized and practiced by an individual with oneself without any explained interaction with any other person. Cleanliness, integrity, punctuality, self-discipline, honesty, simply living, etc. Social values are praised and practiced because of our association with other. These values is necessary bring an interaction of two or more person, cooperation, kindness, social justice, etc. Family values, values of family depends on dynamic of the family. It will also depend on education, culture and the society. Example is obedience, hygienic, mutual respect, patience, love, etc. Cultural values may serve a function in a particular situation and circumstances. Example is social order, non-violence, etc. Democratic values are fundamental beliefs and the constructional principle of our society. Non-violence, diversity, equality, pursuit, happiness, truth, rules of law. Institutional values, institutional values are beliefs that end over the time about conduct activities. Dominant institution values exhibit four characteristic. Existentialism through our during every considerable period of time. Example is cooperation, cleanliness, happiness depends on external circumstances. Happiness, internal joy comes from the overflowing peace which good alone can give. Values pertaining to self become the arthritis of human being. We have characterized values, internal of values এবং pertaining to self values make reformation in the personality individual in calculating values. Truthfulness, discipline, peace of mind, cleanliness, honesty, perfection, ordership, tolerance. এইপରି ଭାବରେ ଆପଣଙ୍କର ରହିଯାଇଛି activity এবং তারপরে যে the most inherent মনে রাখুন the most inherent values of person in undivided, which means valuing the self over anything else. The modern world has been moving more and more towards the evidence values where the interest of I am the most right and need to be protected everything else. How to inculcate how to inculcate values: humility, truthfulness, tolerance, honesty, sincerity, courtesy, sympathy, following, affection, spirit of service, sacrifice, which form are noble characteristics of child developed personality. Values helps to become self-disciplined through such education. Parents can teach the children by the way dealing with their children. Other sisters in the family can create an atmosphere of joy, rest to brotherhood. We can cultivate devotion towards our own faith, which can help us experience happiness, joy and forgiveness. We can pray for our enemies and those who hurts us in our daily situation. We should inculcate the truth, beauty, goodness in our daily is living. Role of teacher, मन रखन role of teacher कौन रही आपनकर? As a teacher, I need to be example to the students to develop moral values in children, telling stories, reading book, to cultivate the traditional values of practicing and sharing ancient history. I need to guide the children to practice culture, behavior values, their daily life. I need enable children to develop third type, self-help, social skill, ethical skill. Conclusion: everyone think of changing the world, no one think change himself. I feel that the values are essential in each everyone life. Values are doors of precipitation through which we look the world, ourselves and interpret the experience which is more equilibrium to ourselves. तेणु एठी सरी आइछि आपनकर देखि पारथुवे एक्टिविटी 3 तापर आसला होछि एक्टिविटी 4. एक्टिविटी 4 कोन रहिछि आपनकर identify the different roles played an ideal teacher in the classroom, school and community and report. Ideal teacher among the greatest of all service that can be rendered be saved by Almighty. Good is the education and training of children so that they can foster by gracing in the way of salvation. A teacher is a potential divining being which an responsible and accountable authority to transfer the personality of student in useful, purposive, ascents direction. Help us, O Lord, to pretend in the secret of the child so that we may know him, love him, and serve him according to our loves of justice and following your divine will. Marina Montessori. Glory of India, an ideal teacher lasts forever. Now in modern world needs teacher who possess high personality. As said, मन रखंदु Sri Aurobindo should have three instruments: teaching, example, and influence to make his teacher lively and effective. World requires well-trained teachers qualified by education, experience, goal, and temperament. First, east or west, our teacher is best. She is our best guide. She help us to decide. She tell us the right path which we are in trouble. She is a book of wisdom which gives us knowledge. She is burning candle which gives us light. All in all, she is best of all. Various of role played by teacher in classroom as a parent, teacher or parent. The children spend most of time. Children will be with them most of day. The teacher most of forgiveness. Teacher give a physical, emotional, intellectual support for the student in various capacities. As an educator, a good teacher possesses excellence of coupled with the equality and social justice. He will impartial, leads the student. He will have a clear vision and guides the students. He assesses the strengths and weakness of the student and guide to them overcome their weakness. Teacher as a role model. Teacher is a serves as a role model not only when he teaches students but also while he performs his duties and also in behavioral aspects. Teacher possesses good characteristic because it is difficult for learner students not to be influenced by the living example before them. As an job role model, Wharton 1985 concluded social crucial research has demonstrated the extent to which an important component of learning derives from the example giving in their own person by teacher which significant influence student in many respects such as the choice, future, career. तेणु ये आप देखिपे एक्टिविटी 4 रो ऑलरेडी आपन को बुझा चली। दिस इज द प्रोफेशनल एटीट्यूड एंड द इम्पोर्टेंस असाइनिंग टू डिफरेंट सब्जेक्ट इन अ स्कूल। चेंजिंग रोल ऑफ टीचर इज also reacted constructive approaches to knowing the knowledge constructed in the mind students and constantly evolving. No matter whether in print or electric format is a perfect of all students. It is teachers who watch the facilitator, the resourcer to individual the students according to their capabilities, एवं तापर होइछ आपनकर टीचर ignites mind of students for the society. Students well-being teacher inculcate responsibility being towards society. But the initiation of teacher, school students can plan for activities which are other than academic, such as conducting service activities. Teacher bring out the talents hidden in students, can plan for cultural and extracurricular activities. एवं तापर for whole schools, teachers, careers. Teacher plays an important role, personal guidance, careers counseling, community service. Teacher act as a lets down trends in areas planning, recording, organizing, surprising, reporting, guiding, evaluating, etc. In a community, schools are often in a community school are often the hubs of community. It is the school where the children make friends, community events are held. Adult meet the collaborate with adult meet collaborate with another. Thereafter a teacher must also be a community leader. Organize activity like the fundraising and interact with parents and other member of the community outside the school. Teacher act as a resource. Teacher is a kind of working resource ready to offer if needed as a resource. Teacher can guidance available in the resourcing for themselves. Teacher act as a counselor and guidance because it is a teacher on when community depends for its solution. Teacher shows good or bad, suggests the good path in suits for that community. Teacher is also a transformer of tradition, of culture. He makes the community people to realize their unique tradition and values and their values, their customs. Teacher create awareness among person in community about the health issues and assess study duties precaution about the disease. He will try educate on exit belief in healing customs. Teacher try reformation of the communities, thus is reformer. Conclusion: the teacher is likely to candle which lightly other burning itself. The teacher who plays a different role life of student to develop a normal values of knowledge. एवं लास्ट पेज एटा देखिबा कोन रही लास्ट पेज रे लेखा आपनकर आशा करछि समस्त भलो भाबरे पढुथिबे एवं लिखि पारथिबे. टीचर हु इंस्ट्रक्ट परपेसिव एंड द इम्यूनेंस द स्टूडेंट्स इन ऑर्डर देयर गोल. टीचर हु बिल्ड the wholesome personality of students and enabled to fulfill the desirable parents and society.